If your team struggles with an undersized offensive line, or you have average speed at the offensive line and not sure what kind of schemes are going to work best for you, then check this video out because I'm going to break down some schemes in which you can use with an undersized offensive line. The hardest position on the field to coach is the offensive line. You're responsible for 5 guys on the field at all times. And to top it off, what if your offensive lineman, your group, is undersized, not as big as some of the opponents you see, as well as not as fast, not as athletic as some of the other teams you're going to face? What kind of schemes do you use? What kind of blocking schemes in the run game do you use? What kind of pass protection do you use? In this video, I'm going to talk about some schemes in which you can use to better suit your offensive lineman to be successful. But before we get to that, welcome to the channel. I'm Coach Ross. If you've never been to this channel talks about everything spread football, offensive football. We talk about blocking schemes, running schemes, passing schemes, you name it. We talk about it on this channel. So welcome to this channel. If you've never been here before, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so that you get all my content. Also, if you like this video, make sure you give it a like. It really help the channel out. I got asked a few weeks ago from a viewer, what kind of schemes would you use in the run game, in the pass protection, if you had an undersized offensive line, if they were average speed, not the most athletic group in the world? What would you do? So I decided that I wanted to make sure that I made a video to help this viewer out and to help any other viewers out that might be struggling with the same question. So we're going to get into that right now. The first thing you need to do is you need to understand their strengths and their weaknesses. What are they good at? What are they bad at? And then from there, you can base a decision on what kind of offense you may want to run, what kind of schemes you may want to run inside that offense. A lot of teams that we see in North Carolina here that have that undersized offense line, typically the offense they are running is the wing T offense. Why use the wing T offense? A lot of teams use the wing T offense because of the undersized offense lineman, because they want to take advantage of an aggressive defense that maybe is bigger, more talented than your offensive lineman, by using unusual formations, by using quick motions, as well as using a lot of misdirection. Weakness to the wing T, though, is especially if you're a coach that likes to throw the ball, it does lack in the drop back passing game. A few plays made famous by the wing T is the buck sweep, also the belly play, and the trap play. One of their well-known passing plays is the waggle play. So if these are plays that you feel like you can execute, then I highly recommend using the wing T for your undersized offensive lineman to give them a better advantage to be successful. I do have struggled with undersized offensive linemen in the past before, but I went a different route. I chose to still stay with the spread offense, the spread formations, because I believe that spreading out the field, having the defense cover from sideline to sideline, creating natural running lanes, creating natural passing windows is the best option for an undersized offensive line. One thing I truly believe, that if you use formations in your offense, that will help out the offensive lineman if they struggle with the talent, if they struggle with the physicality, if they struggle with their size or their speed. By using spread formations, I believe that you can force the defense out of the box. You don't have 7, 8 in the box anymore. You use 3, 4 wide receivers. Now you have 5, 6 in the box. That creates open running lanes. And especially if you use larger splits with the offensive lineman, it creates even wider gaps that the defensive linemen have to adjust to make sure that their responsibilities are taken care of. So you can, just by formations alone, you can spread them out and create more space. I believe in using spread formations to help take advantage of an undersized offensive line. Well, the reason is simple. I want to spread the defense out. I want to spread them out, make sure that they have to cover, like I said, sideline to sideline. So in this kind of scenario right here, as you can see, there are 5 in the box. Well, if you use the quarterback in the run game, right now you have 7. So you have 7 to their 5 in the box, which it's a numbers advantage. You have 2 more technically than they have available to play in the box, because they have to respect these receivers, especially if you are a passing team. They have to respect these receivers. Now, they may bring a safety down to cover one of your slots and bring back a linebacker or an overhang back into the box. All right, but you still have a numbers advantage in the run game if you use the quarterback as well, with a 7-6 advantage. Now, what else you can do is now you can create larger splits with your offensive lineman if you want to do this. Create the splits a little bit wider. So they may widen out these splits even more. What does the defense have to do? They have to adjust. They have to adjust, and now that spreads them out as well. So now you have even larger space, larger windows. And what you've done, and this is something that I borrowed from another coach, is that great saying, more space equals more time. An additional thing you can do with the offensive linemen too as well is you can start having them align a little bit differently. What I mean by that is we would have the guards line up on the center's heels. And then from there, the tackles would line up on the guard's heels, because this creates space for the amount of travel that the defensive line has to go through. You can push it a little bit to where they are off the line and bowed out just a little bit. And now what that does is that creates space. So if this tackle is back here, now this defensive end, to get into his pass rush, he has to travel an extra distance before he starts getting into his pass rush to come around. Same thing here with the guard. If the guard is backed up just a little bit, that tackle has a little bit further to go to get into his rush to try and get into the fits. So that's one little thing, one little adjustment you can do to give your offensive lineman just a little bit more of an edge. If you are going with the spread formations, the spread offense, one thing I would highly recommend using and getting good at is your quick game. I'm talking about stick. I'm talking about corner or snag. I'm talking about slants. I'm talking about fade out. Those are all passing plays that get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly, takes much, much less stress off the offensive lineman. They don't have to hold their blocks as long. And with those formations, it creates those windows to where your quarterback can make that quick read and get that ball out quickly. You also need to get good in the quick screens. You're talking about your bubble screens and talking about your now screens. With regards to pass protection, what I would use is I would use big on big pass pro, where you are just working on vertical sets and vertical drops, and you are teaching your offensive lineman to protect their inside gap. So in other words, follow those rules of inside, head up, outside rules, and couple that with the quick game that you're going to put in and the quick screens, getting that ball out quick, using those spread formations. This will all put less stress on your offensive linemen, so they don't have to hold their blocks as long, because that ball is going to be going off to your playmakers that much faster. Run game, I would focus in on zone schemes that help your offensive linemen find double teams. Work those double teams to the second level. I wouldn't worry too much about schemes where you're having a lot of pullers, whether it's counter, whether it's dart, whether it's power. I would focus in on those zone schemes to help find the double teams. Example of our zone scheme. Now, this is how I teach it. If you do something differently, that's fine. It's cool with me. This is how I teach it. I've been successful with this way. So we follow the rules of inside, head up, outside, especially with our zone scheme as well. So what that means is we'll start with our play side tackle. We're going to run zone to the left here. So our play side tackle, does he have anybody inside of him? No, he does not. Does he have somebody head up? Yes, he does. He's going to block that man. And just do not allow that man to break to the inside. If he wants to go outside, you just take him wherever he wants to go, take him, let himself run out of the play. Now, our play side guard, does he have somebody head up in the play side gap? Yes, he does. So he's going to block there. Center, does he have somebody inside of him on the play side? Yes, he does. He's going to work that double team, and then they work that double team to that Mike linebacker. Backside guard, do you have anybody inside gap? No, you might have a shade here. Do you have somebody head up? Yes, you do. You're going to lock on. Does our backside tackle, we are going to leave this man alone. So the way it works with our backside tackle, since we are reading this man right here, inside, no. Head up, no. Outside, yes. But what he's going to do is he's going to take a play side step this way. He can either double team or he can work to the second level, whether that backer is over here or he works his second level. Safety comes down to help out. He is working to the second level. And again, we are reading this man. If this man decides to chase, then our quarterback pulls the ball, or he hands the ball off and the running back is banging it in here, or he can bounce it, or he can bend it back. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button down below. Also, if you like this content and you want to see more content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video.